No problem. Live from Austin, Texas, it's the internet's favorite advice show, Answering for a Friend. Now, here's your hosts, Clint Baker and Mia. Hey! How's it going?
Hi!
How you doing there, Mia?
I'm so freaking good. How are you?
I am so freaking good, too. We got a hell of a show tonight. We got so many fun questions. Some of them are serious, some of them are not, and I think we're going to have a really good time tonight. I'm just feeling it.
This is orange juice.
I'm drinking some grape juice out of this container right here.
Right.
Yes, holy smokes, man. Guys, we're going on a little later today. We're doing the 8:30 thing. We have lives, and you need to appreciate that. We're doing our thing. Hey, we got James in the chat. Oh,
hi there, James guy. What's up?
We'll give him an air horn.
I hope people over here they're sitting in the old YouTube link. Oh no!
What old YouTube link? There is no old YouTube
link. Are you talking about?
I never made a YouTube link for this show.
I forgot.
But we got 4 watching. Yeah, I never, this time I didn't prep. Usually I prep and get a link ready a few days earlier.
Is there a link from last week's show up somewhere?
I'd promoted every Thursday, but that was just
I don't know.
That was just to the main page so that people can come subscribe, because that's what you do when you like a channel. You subscribe, which reminds me. Subscribe, guys. We gotta like, share, subscribe, click that notification bell so that me and Mia can retire. We're done. We're done with the workforce. We just want to talk to you guys.
Syndicated radio show 5 days a week, please, and thank you. I would like to do a spot for any and every mattress company available. Do you have any, Clint? Do you have any copy for us today?
Today's show is brought to you by Nectar Mattresses. Why sleep on crap when you can get a great night's sleep on a Nectar mattress? Nectar Mattresses, the best.
Come sleep on my Nectar.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
Oh. All right. Well,
that was not the sound. That's the sound that is only delegated for one thing I say. You can't just be using your sounds willy-nilly, honey childs.
Oh, my bad. Let's see who else is in the chat over here real quick. Hey, Elizabeth Ann says hi.
Hi, Liz. I'm really glad that you're joining us. I haven't seen you in a few weeks, and so thank you. I love you.
James, blah, blah, blah.
The one that was scheduled.
Phil is here.
Phil here?
Mark? I don't know. Is Punk Rock Phil in the house tonight? Hey Mia, you should play Cyber Hunter with Spooky and I. It's like Fortnite. That says Fortunate. I'm pretty sure he meant to say Fortnite. And it's free too. So it's a free game called Cyber Hunter.
I'll try it out. I can't guarantee I'll like it, but are you on an Xbox? Because if you are, you can just add me on the Xbox Live because it's the same name as that, and then we can go from there, maybe.
Yeah. And then y'all will be partying serious in
What's
Cyber
the game
world.
Called? What did you say?
Cyber Hunter.
Cyber Hunter. I'll look into it. We'll see. I'm so obsessed with how bad I am at Fortnite right now.
Is obsessed at how bad you are at Fortnite code for snobby? Is that what that is? I'm so obsessed with Fortnite right now.
Oh, no. I'm bad. I'm very bad. And that's so much fun. This is the thing about it. I just learned how to use a gaming console for the first time like 6 or 7 weeks ago. Like I didn't even know how to use the controller. So people that I've recruited to play Fortnite with me, they're already gamers. So they kind of know what they're doing. in games anyway. It's such a new concept to me. So I've hit a plateau where I'm not getting really much better, but when I play solos or duos, it's okay, but when I'm in like a squad with like 4 people, I'm so useless. I just hold everyone back, but I still enjoy the game a lot.
But you're loving it, right?
Everyone keeps asking me that when I'm like, I'm not very good. And then everyone's next question is, but you have fun, right? That's part of it. Yes, I have a lot of fun. I really do.
That reminds me of back in the day when I used to play shows, and we'd play with another band that was terrible. And I don't like lying to people and telling them, "Hey, dude, you guys are really good," when you're in a bad band. That's
Yeah.
rude. I think that's rude. So I don't want somebody to blow smoke up my ass if And so I would play a band with a show. They were terrible, but I really liked them, and I would be like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Hey man, good show," and they would say, "Hey, thanks, man, you guys played a great show," and I would say, "Did you have fun?"
That was like
And
your
that was my way of
them?
not saying, "Hey, good show to you too," because I honestly I didn't.
My
They were like,
God.
maybe they were terrible, but I would say, "Hey, good show, Clint." I'm like, "Hey, yeah, did you have fun?" "Oh yeah, awesome, man," and then I'd keep walking. I'd keep
That is
going.
such a weird, like, I was in a pretty successful band flex that
This
you
was
just
before. This was even like this was when we were just a normal like a local band before we were even on the before we were featured on the Hot Chick motion picture soundtrack. Let's move on to some
plug.
yeah. Yeah.
Look, we have 11 viewers, Clint Baker.
Oh, this is great. 11 viewers.
Yes. Who else is here? Say hi in the chat if you want to say hi and let us know. And we're going to jump into some questions. And I have not cool, it sucks, but I'm going to read it to you guys in a little bit. And I want opinions on it. Ooh, and it's cringy and good.
We've got all
cringy in a good way. It's cringy in a bad way.
Well, we've got all kinds of fun questions tonight all over the place. So
this might be a long one.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go too crazy. with it because I knew you were we were coming in at 8:30.
Cheers! Can you cheers me?
I will cheers you.
Which direction am I going?
Oh yeah. Oh,
that's awkward. Hang on,
we go.
I gotta switch hands.
Hold on.
Oh,
you ready? You gotta cock back.
There we go.
And then ready, go.
Go the opposite direction.
There you go.
You went through my screen.
Yeah. All right. Cheers.
Mm.
Well, let's do this. The first one, just because we want this to be fun, we're gonna start with the fact that it is not quite yet, but in a few hours, it's October. What's your favorite horror movie, and what are you going to be for Halloween? Asking for a friend.
This is such a good question.
I know.
What's my favorite horror movie?
Yeah.
What's your favorite horror movie?
Oh boy. Honestly, if I had to pick my favorite, I would probably have to say the OG original gangster. That means Friday the 13th, where Johnny Depp gets sucked into the bed and then like that scared the hell out of me. And for nostalgia reasons, I probably go with that. My favorite new horror movie is Malignant because it gets completely ridiculous and it was really fun. How about you?
Bambi.
Bambi is a horror movie.
I watched Bambi when I was a little kid, and they shot Bambi's mom right in the freaking head. And that is a horror movie. So actually, I have a funny story about that. I used to work at a costume shop. I worked there seasonally every year for like almost 12 years in a row. And we had themed dress-up days, and one of the themes was horror movies. And my friend that works there is like obsessed with Disney. So I did not tell her, but I dressed as a deer with like a bullet wound in my head. And I showed up and she's like, "What movie are you from?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm freaking Bambi's mom." And she like started crying. She was so upset with me for this costume. But the better thing is another girl we worked with, she showed up dressed as a hunter in the orange vest with like a fake shotgun, and she surprised me, and we spent the whole day. And so my most favorite picture taken of me of all time is her on the ground with her shotgun, and it looks like she's holding me up like she just killed me, and I'm just like laying there like a little deer. It's the most incredible photo of all time. That's like my best.
That's messed up.
That's my best Halloween costume like moment of all time. But my actual favorite horror movie is, I'm a classic, The Shining.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
There's so many good ones to choose from. I like when horror turns into sci-fi, when you got Jason in space, Jason X. That was a really good one too. It's so ridiculous that it's awesome.
I don't watch any sci-fi.
Yeah, this is definitely a conversation for Versus on Tuesday nights, every Tuesday. But
this is the show for Clint to plug his
the
other
shameless
shows.
plugging, yeah. But and costume. I haven't thought of a good costume. Any suggestions, guys? What should I be for Halloween? This is serious.
I think I'm gonna be a character from Fortnite because my son wants me to do it.
Oh, that's perfect.
Last year was a lot of fun because we didn't have a lot of time and it was like a quarantine Halloween. So I just took all the like special effects stuff I had left over from previous years, and I made horns like last minute, and I had them come out of my head, and I was the daughter of the devil, and I like dressed up in this little red dress, and I just had like a little mini script that I would say all night about like how dad is such an asshole for giving me my horns today, and I was like a brat, like a complete like
oh my
like,
god,
the daughter of the devil, fuck, it was really fun though. And I'll probably just throw something together this year. I don't have tons of time with my study schedule to get anything good together.
I think I'm gonna go get serious. I haven't figured out what to do yet, but I gotta figure it out.
Well, I love costuming, and I've made stuff for you know this. I've made stuff for years. So if you need help with anything, I am just give me like a ballpark of what you want, and I'll be able to like bring it to fruition.
I would love that. I would love it because that's my fave. Let's see. We got some comments in here.
We need to look at comments.
Battle Pig says so.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for watching our show.
Kai Crosby says I'm here.
Hi. Hello, Kai.
And James says hide your kids. Battle Pig is here.
Hide your kids.
RWMCGRATH says Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Night of the Living Dead.
Those are both good too.
Both
classics.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, both good.
I agree. McGrath, can you say that word, Clint?
Yeah, McGrath. Absolutely.
I like how you spelled it all out.
They're all capitalized, and like it looks like they're not words. I was just kidding.
It looks like they're not words.
Yeah.
You look like you're not words. What else do we have? That James guy says my favorite horror movie is Tim Burton's Willy Wonka. I totally agree with this. It is so creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. BATTLEPIG says, I'm just kidding. Battle Pig says costume worked like a charm. Yes.
Yeah.
Phil Davis says, which is Punk Rock Phil in the house, says
Hi, Punk Rock Phil.
Exorcist, second place, Shining, third place, fourth place, Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary's Baby is a good one. Oh man, yeah. when he has the teens sleep in the sleeping bag, bash. Yep, it's Jason X. Man, we got a bunch of comments in here. Clint, you should be Wonder Man. All right.
Didn't we have this conversation on the last show that Clint should be Wonder Man and I should be Captain Marvel?
I think so. I'm in. Let's see here. I'm gonna start doing push-ups tomorrow. Kai Crosby, that James guy, I love you, dude. Man, there's a romance going here. Kai Crosby, I love you too, man. My favorite horror movie.
A bromance going on.
Yeah. And then Wade JPEG says my favorite horror movie is Mary Poppins.
I appreciate these after I said Bambi that other people find normal movies just as creepy.
When I was a kid, honestly, I saw Empire Strikes Back in the theater, and that was serious because I was like 3 or 4, I think 4.
Freaking Terminator freaked me out as a kid.
And you see Luke Skywalker get his hand cut off, and he's hanging like the Cloud City, hanging on the needle. Like no, there's that was some serious drama for a toddler.
Creepy.
I had nightmares about that. Well, cool. Well, do you want to move to?
We have someone that's interjecting in this bromance.
Uh-oh. Kai belongs to the streets, James. Don't trust him.
No, but before that.
Uh-oh.
Kai is mine, stay away.
R.W. McGrath says, Kai is mine, stay away.
Kai belongs to the streets, James. Don't trust him.
He belongs to no one.
All right, you silly sillies. We need to move on to the next question.
The next question is, what professions are slowly dying?
Where did you get this question from?
From the interwebs.
Oh, goodness. What professions are slowly dying? All of them. Anything that can be automated.
You're absolutely right. Truck driving, anything with automation, even like mastering music. That's something I know about. And like now there's programs that you can just pay, and it's not as good, but still it gets it done. They've got robot bartenders.
I was just gonna say, but what do you think about that as a bartender? And I'm an ex-bartender. Like,
well, one, they're not going to be very good at listening to your problems, but
what if they're better at listening to your problems?
They might be. Man, my wife wants a divorce. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's what you get. That's usually my response. Why are you such a douchebag? No, I don't say that.
Yes, you do. I'm just
kidding. And the corny jokes. I'm like, I have fun when I'm bartending. I've like tell a bunch of corny jokes.
What if you had to tip the robot to tell you a joke? Like Siri, like you can ask Siri or like Alexa or Google for like a joke. You're like, bartender robot, tell me a joke. And then they just like crank out. So like you would actually maybe have a job writing the jokes for the corny robot bartender. Yeah. I said that backwards.
Yeah, I was just going to tell a joke. Anyway.
You didn't have something loaded? You didn't have a
I was going to say, how do you find a blind man in a nudist colony? It's not hard.
That's
messed up. That's why I paused. That's why,
What if he was the only one that was hard, though?
That is from a Dana Carvey movie circa 1985. That's an old joke. Let's see here. Phil says, bartenders do more than sling drinks. That's right.
That is true.
Yeah. McCall Dixon says, Jeff Bezos will eradicate cashiers from the history books. That's another thing. Like, yeah, you're right. Like now they've got software where you go in and they watch what you take off the shelves, and then they just charges you automatically.
There's that Amazon store, the cart, like it as you're putting stuff in, it's like ringing the things up for you, and then you just slide your card on the little thing on the front of your cart, and you just go. There's no person involved at all. That actually sounds really kind of like my ideal way of shopping. I don't want to interact with another human. I like how people during this pandemic were like, I can't wait for smiling faces again. What weird world did you live in where you were just walking around with just happy smiling faces? That's not the world I lived in. I am happy to not see your face in the grocery store. I can just go and get in and out. I don't need some dude hitting on me or saying weird things to me. I'm good. Thank you.
I think my ideal shopping experience would be that I would imagine what I wanted, and then I would pull up to the parking space and somebody would just put it in my trunk.
Like you need a robot to anticipate your needs. Clint, that's called a wife.
Oh. Never mind. I'll just go in. I'll just go inside. Let's see here.
That's funny. We didn't really answer that question that well.
No. Well, I mean, I did. Cobblers. There's like the cobblers, hand making shoes. Like they're like now things are just
artisans. Anything that's artisan trade is like going bye now.
I was in Prague. When I was jet setting the world, I was in Prague.
I'm gonna get off of this stream tonight. You're so braggy.
And like and the Gothic architecture and stuff is really cool. And I was talking to somebody about it, and they're like, "Yeah, it's really sad because with modern architecture and cheaper building materials and stuff,
Yeah.
those techniques are forgotten. They're like,
Oh yeah,
human
for
beings are
sure.
forgetting how to do that, and because nobody does it anymore, and all of a sudden we're not going to know how to do that. But we'll be able to do like a cheap facsimile, like a Disney World version of it, where you knock on it, it's hollow, it's like plaster, it's not even real, real castle.
Yeah, I know. It's like that's how I feel about furniture. You cannot get like real furniture anymore. Everything you get is like particle board crap. It's like you put it together and it's just uh it makes me sad. That's why I buy like old mid-century pieces because I'm obsessed with like the hand craftsmanship of them all. That's why I got into woodworking because I was like, I'm gonna make this stuff out of real wood, and then the pandemic hit and wood went up in, you
Wood's
know,
ridiculous.
it is so expensive and it's so frustrating because it's like I don't want to start a project with a bunch of wood I paid for when I could still make maybe potential mistakes and then have to, I'm not like I have all this wood that I'm supposed to be building the shelf with and I have yet to start the project because I'm just like I'm going to screw it up. But
Plywood is an investment at nowadays. I'm gonna take a Fortnite. I'm gonna take a mortgage out and buy some plywood.
We have a comment. Let's see.
Also, I just want to say voiceover is getting that way too. Like, I do voiceover
Oh
work,
yeah, because they're
and
so good at.
and now there's robots that know how to do the inflections and stuff, and it's getting pretty good. I hear like pop up videos on advertisements that clearly these guys that are advertising, they don't want to spend a bunch of money,
Yeah.
and it's getting convincing to where I'm like, dude, that almost sounded real. It's weird. What's a comment? What do you got? Which one are you looking at?
Natalie is being silly, but she said, "Real important question: are we playing Fortnite tonight after the show?"
Real important question.
Yeah. And then it's the next comment. We're playing Fortnite
I just checked my BlackBerry. Zune is losing to Apple.
Yeah, we are gonna play Fortnite tonight after the show. Why not? Somebody says my phone can't run Fortnite. I'm so sorry. Maybe get a separate phone just for Fortnite, or use your computer, or use an Xbox or PlayStation or Switch. Phil Davis says, I disagree. Artisan stuff will make a comeback because people want personal touches. I ordered, what did you order?
A tone from Etsy so that artists will continue.
So I love that, Phil. And I have a list of stuff that I want to change about my life when I'm like done with school. And on that list is like, screw Amazon. I'm not buying from these places ever again. And I'm just going to buy stuff from artisans. Like I bought a lot of stuff from Etsy. If I can find it on Etsy, I will. And if I can afford it. But that is a huge goal of mine, is to like get away from big box stores forever and ever in my life. You can get anything you want, can be made by, somebody. So, totally. I wish we could bring trades back, like big time.
Etsy's pretty cool. Like I was searching for, I have a Gibson Firebird guitar. It's an awesome guitar, and I wanted some different tuners for it. And like they made these tuners that were really awesome. They put on certain models. They didn't come on mine, and I was trying to find these things, and they were discontinued. They quit making them, and I ended up on Etsy, and some guy took nautical hardware and with bolts and stuff and made basically the same thing using nautical hardware. And so I put these things on my guitar, and they work the same. It's crazy. And I go, wow, that's just some random guy from Connecticut that figured this out and is just selling these things, and it's pretty neat.
I just ordered a mug from Etsy. I've had this really ugly Halloween mug for years. I got it at Goodwill when I was like a teenager, and I drink out of it almost every day. And I've never tried to look for them, and I just flipped it over one day, and there's 3 letters on the bottom, and I typed that in with like Halloween mug, and it popped up on Etsy. It looks completely different, but it's the same style, and I ordered it, and I just got it 2 days ago. So now I have 2. I'm a real nerd about antiques. Sorry. Not sorry.
Hey, I like this one. McCall Dixon says, Clint, you would kill it as a Hawkeye voice actor. I like that.
What do you mean by Hawkeye?
Hawkeye is a Marvel character.
You knew I wasn't gonna know that.
Yeah,
Could you have just
he's
said
played
that?
he's played by Jeremy Renner.
You made me ask. You
He's
knew I was
Marvel.
gonna ask.
He's Marvel's answer to the Green Arrow. That is a badass bow and arrow dude.
That's another character I didn't know.
Yeah.
Natalie says she plays on PS5 or Xbox One. What else are we missing?
I don't know, but let's move on to another question because our ADD is sucking us into the chat.
I'm sorry, but the chat's really good tonight.
I know
we
you guys.
We have a question here. Does a straw have one big hole or two holes? It has one big hole. A hole is a continuous your mouth and your butt. That's one hole.
That's two holes.
No, it's not, Clint.
Yeah,
it's one.
Because when you do the thing,
one continuous hole.
When you do the game where you count holes, you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what I mean? That's
spaces that you can fit things in.
That's a different game. My bad.
That's a different game, Clint. My mom's watching.
Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Mom.
Okay, all right. I can't keep up with the chat. We gotta move on.
We gotta move on. All right, here's an interesting question.
By the way, okay, yeah. Read it. You want me to read it?
We got 12. Yeah, whatever. You go ahead.
I called in sick to work 20 minutes before I was supposed to go in. The manager said I would be getting written up. It's a pandemic. Who is at fault here? Asking for a friend. You're at fault. You're at fault. Did you find out what's the excuse for calling in 20 minutes before? If you're going to use "it's a pandemic" as an excuse, that means you knew.
The person got up and they weren't feeling well, and then they were getting ready for work, and then they realized, dude, I'm sick. I've got this sniffles and headache and all that, and it's COVID times. And it's irresponsible for me to this is like a weird thing because of the pandemic. It's irresponsible for me to go to work when I might be sick. I need to be off, maybe go get tested or see what the hell, or do I go in? And so the question wasn't like I'm hungover or I don't feel like going in. The person was sick, and rather than go to work sick and wait to see what happens, they decided, hey, I'm going to try and be responsible. On the flip side, the boss is like, yo, you called me 20 minutes before work. I have to do something to cover the spot. You really put me in a bad position. You're written up because you can't just do that. But this is like a special situation where before you're like, I don't care if you got the flu, come to work. But now
I hated that.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this on the show before, that I hope that continues through post-pandemic, that we take being sick more seriously in the workplace. I mean, I told you, I bartended with 102 fever once, and it was literally like, come in for your shift or you're fired.
Yeah.
And then you know how bartending is. You're fired and you come back 2 weeks later and they'll hire you back. But it was, and I was so freaking sick working, but that was my, I think the fault in the question is asking whose fault it is. I don't think anyone's at fault. I think this person was sick and had to call in, and at the same time, if your punishment is getting written up, you kind of just have to suck that up and not be. You can't be mad at your boss. Just accept that the situation sucked all around for both parties, and then just move on. And hopefully this person hasn't been written up before. If it's just the one thing, then if you're a good employee and you know that your chances of getting written up aren't, very high, then it's okay. If you get written up all the time, well, then no sympathy.
Then you probably deserve to get in worse trouble for all of your past transgressions is probably the deal. But that's what I say. When people are like, oh, I got written up, they're like, I'm like, dude, like you said, do you get written up all the time? No. Well, then who cares?
Yeah.
Write me up. Let's get this over with so I can get back to work. That's what I say. You know what I mean? When I've always worked hard at my jobs, I show up to work late every once in a while, and get in trouble for it, for that.
But I call you right as you're walking in.
Yeah. But that's what I always say. So I think this person needs to, you're right. And hey, you're not being injusticed by being written up. That boss is doing his job. You were actually being responsible by not going to work sick. And
did it state, was it a service industry job?
It didn't say.
Yeah.
Did not say. I just thought it was interesting, being that it's one thing, like, somebody calls in sick right before work. People tend to think, oh, they're hungover, or they're just, they're trying to go to Disney World with their kids or something. But like this,
they've had it planned, but they're just gonna call on the day of
or
because they know
whatever.
they couldn't
Yeah.
get it off.
But this is a situation where you have like, hey, dude, do you really want me showing up with the sniffles, and I can't taste or smell anything? You want me to come to work? Like, no, I don't want you at work. Like, you get the day off.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm also writing you up. Let's see what the chat has to say. Man, this is getting weird.
We have some really funny questions.
Yeah, this is fun.
In this chat. This is a really fun show. The last couple shows, we didn't have a lot of chat interaction. And Clint and I still didn't answer very many questions.
Yeah. RW,
we still derailed ourselves.
We're not really here to answer questions. We're just here to hang out with you guys.
Honestly, though, think about it, Clint. Like, if we really did have like our radio show, which I feel like would be like my like favorite thing ever, and we were on 5 days a week, we wouldn't be having an advice show. It would be like a format show where you and I talk about our experience in our lives and stuff like that.
And or so, current events maybe, or something.
What if the people that make you famous are watching? Just kidding.
They are. Who does radio shows, dude? That's the old school. We're living in the future now. It's all about podcasts and YouTube and
I mean, like a syndicated radio show where you're on like XM radio, or you're on show like Bobby Bones, who ended up getting, I don't really like him, but he got super duper famous, and and if you care, you can listen to Dale Dudley bitch about that all the time because he didn't get as famous in his career. Just kidding, Dale. We still love you.
Haters gonna hate. R.W. McGrath says, who wakes up 20 minutes before work?
I was thinking that
seems
too. Like,
sus.
That's why I was thinking it's probably a service industry job, because that's how service industry people are. They go out after their shift and then they wake up within an hour before their next shift. That's how it was when I was bartending nights. You'd get off work at 4 a.m. and go eat and then you're in bed at 6 or 7 in the morning.
Totally justified. What's the work policy? Work policy is if you call in less than 3 hours before your shift, then you get written up. That's the work policy.
Yeah, that's usually the policy. Sleep on my nectar. My mom is watching. LOL, that James guy.
Let's see here. I want to be able to erase Jeremy Renner's album from my mind. Yeah.
They're having their own conversation in here.
2 weeks notice is outdated. You'll notice I'm not at work 30 minutes into my first day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's funny.
Jeremy Renner's Amazon fashion collection. What the fuck are y'all talking
What are you guys talking about? And what is Natalie's like, who... Kai says, Natalie, feel it's dope that you were able to get one. Get what? What did I miss in the chat?
I don't know.
All right, you guys. We got to answer some freaking questions.
Let's go on to the next one. This is a stupid question. In your opinion, what is hold on a sec.
Please start over. Yeah. Do you want me to read it?
I had to fix this. There you go.
There you go.
What, in your opinion? Hold on.
Jesus Christ. This is why we're not famous.
There we go. Boom. Now I got it. In your opinion, what is considered a crime against food? Asking for a friend. Some people would say doing a well-done steak.
If you cook your steak more than medium, you are ruining meat. Also, people that put ketchup on macaroni and cheese.
Oh, some people think ketchup and eggs is bad. I like ketchup on eggs.
Putting edible glitter in the food that you bring to a Friendsgiving that's serving 20, when I delegated you to make 2 side dishes for the whole group. I don't know if she's in the chat, so maybe she doesn't hear me. But if you're here, you know who I'm talking about.
Ooh, this one's gross. Dipping an Oreo in queso, that is a crime. Pineapple on pizza? I like pineapple on pizza.
I'm sorry. I love pineapple on pizza, and I have a theory that people that are against it have actually never had it, because it is so freaking good.
It's like
Phil, Phil, I had a feeling you were going to say that because we've had this talk before. All condiments are a crime against food.
Yeah, Phil likes corn dog nuggies and like and chicken nuggies.
Phil, you eat like I ate when I was a teenager.
And, yeah, like grilled cheeses.
90s latchkey kid, fed myself a lot of microwaved foods.
Dude, banh mi pizza, Phil says. Banh mi pizza sounds badass. Are you kidding me?
I'm not a huge banh mi person, but I don't know.
That sounds fantastic.
Crime against food.
R.W. McGrath argues pineapple on pizza is good.
Right? I know. Pineapple, pepperoni, crispy bacon, and jalapenos. That's pizza. And then, because I'm lactose intolerant, I have to have vegan cheese, which is, I know that's a crime against food, but whatever.
It's a crime against humanity.
I'm sorry. Tell my guts to chill it out.
Guts, chill it out. Fries and mayo.
That wouldn't be the first time I've heard that. I'm sorry, Mom.
Fries and mayo isn't bad. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
It's not ideal, but it's not bad.
I know I'm going to think of a bunch of these when this show's over because I have I'm a big foodie person. I have pretty harsh food opinions, but I can't really think of them on the spot.
These people are all fighting. They're like, R.W. McGrath, it's okay for all of you to be wrong and still have a valid opinion. Get a better palate. This is great. Let's see. Came for asking for here. Yeah, total.
Steak. That's great.
Yeah, any steak sauce? No, I'm gonna fight that. I like A1 steak sauce. I think it's delicious.
Oh my gosh! Also, the person that put glitter on the food items, who I'm not sure if she's in the chat, but she also puts steak sauce on steaks, which is ruining them.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have a great steak, and a little A1 helps. Also, I like I'll eat a meat. I will eat a. I'll eat a medium well steak. I'll eat a well done steak. I grew up people burning fajitas like well done meats.
Don't use your underprivileged lifestyle to
my heritage.
Bad steak as an adult.
Do not attack my heritage, Mia. I honestly I'll eat burnt meat. I think it's the carbon.
Is there anything you won't eat?
No, actually, that's pretty valid, I guess. All right. Well done steak is a war crime, and you can send me your when they cook fajitas and stuff, and then they'll have like the burned edges. They'll cut them off and not send those in a Mexican restaurant. Not send that out to the table.
I'll eat the bark.
I'll eat the edge. I'm like, yeah, that's the best part.
That's like the bark on brisket, which is delicious, especially when it's like that fatty bark edge. Ooh,
that's what I'm talking about.
I want some meat in my mouth. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so
R.W. McGrath hates cooked carrots, Mia.
Yeah, cooked carrots aren't very good. I used to have a joke. You've heard me say this joke before, Clint. I don't know where it came from, but for some reason I find this to be the funniest thing ever.
What do you got?
Carrots, like raw carrots. So this was the joke. Carrots taste how hungry feels. That's it. That's the joke.
That's not a very good one.
Are you kidding me? That joke is hilarious. Like, okay, picture this, just me going on stage and I'm like, hey guys, how are you doing tonight? Carrots taste how hungry feels. There wouldn't be a freaking air horn playing.
I need to get a horn.
I actually wrote a new set last night, or the night before. I couldn't fall asleep because this stupid joke was like floating around in my head, and I had to get up and write it down.
I actually like carrots if they're like in a roast, cooked carrots. If it's like a pot roast, those are good. I kind of
do like pot roast carrots too, but just like steamed or boiled. That if you just try to salt them or pepper them, they're not good.
That's just boring. Like, boring. Let's just have a can of beets for dinner. That's what that's like. Well, let's get a different debate going here in the chat. You guys ready for this one? What sport do you think isn't a sport?
What sport do you think isn't a sport?
You know,
What do you mean by this?
well, there's curling. Some people are like, that's
Curling's
some bullshit. That's a
me.
bunch of people with a push broom. I'm just saying.
Curling is a freaking sport. And
what
it's
about
serious. I am serious about curling.
what? I don't watch sports ball.
I love calling it sports balls. I'm like, oh, are you gonna do your sports balls?
What about well, look at this one. Pole dancing is supposed to be in the Olympics soon.
That got incredible.
Yeah, I know it's an athletic feat, and extremely, but some people will be like, that's not a sport.
Well, but it is though. If you can't get up off your little booty and do it yourself, then you don't. Your opinion is, all opinions you may be entitled to your opinion. Doesn't mean that all opinions are valid.
Here's what I was waiting for. Baseball isn't a sport.
Baseball isn't a sport. That's America's pastime. How dare you?
Golf. Screw you! I play golf. I don't play golf.
I don't love golf. Yeah. I would say table tennis, but have you watched any table tennis? These dudes are, first of all, they're jacked and they're freaking incredible athletes. Even with golf, Tiger Woods, what's that other guy, Mickelson, like back in that day, is that his name? You laughed at me.
Yeah.
Back in that day, that's what I remember growing up watching with my dad. So back in that day, those dudes, they weren't in bad shape, but they kind of were. They had their little guts working after a certain point in time in their life. Now you see these golfers and they're young and freaking beefy.
Yeah.
Golf is becoming a beefy sport.
There's
the women have always been beefy.
No, there's some pretty sweet
nobody laughed at that.
Women golfers out there that I've seen where I'm like, whoa, is that what it's maybe I need to take up golf? Is that what it's like?
Why would you need to take up golf?
To go hang out with the women golfers.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Dude, if anybody, you want to see a clumsy looking, stiff, I'm trying to think of Grimace, the purple guy from McDonald's, that guy. Imagine him swinging a golf club. That's how much flexibility I have when I swing a golf club.
Do you play golf?
No, but I did it. I did it for a video sketch that we did one time.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I hit the golf club, and I'm like, does my waist not move? I look like Michael Keaton Batman, where his head and shoulders were all one piece. Where when he turns, I hit the golf club, and I hit a pretty good hit, but boom, and I was like,
job opening.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, dude, this is Clint. I'm definitely not a golf guy. Is what I'm trying to say. Let's see. Let's go into the chat here.
The chat is going so quickly, we don't have time to keep up.
I know. Pole dancing requires more athleticism than baseball. I can agree with that. Some people would argue with you, but I would agree with that. I don't know what. Calm down, John the Fisherman. Battle Pig. I'm not taking that bait.
That James guy says lawn darts is the ultimate sport.
Lawn darts is awesome.
Wait, was that your generation? When you were a kid, did you experience lawn darts? I think it was before my time.
Yeah, they're banned now. They don't do lawn darts.
Yeah, I know they're banned, but kids died from them, which is why they're banned. But I think it wasn't a part of my life growing up. I don't remember if it.
Some people say soccer's not a sport. I've heard that too. The Phil says
okay.
Doesn't have a ball, not a sport. Hockey and ice skating and boxing match, bro. Yeah, Phil is from, or not Phil, but James is from Canada, so they have different sports up there. So lawn darts, it's different.
Uno is a sport. It can be.
Golf is tremendously bad for the environment.
Is golf bad for the environment?
I guess if you got a bunch of balls made of synthetic material in a bodies of water, that can't be good.
Is it about the land? I don't know.
I was gonna say well, I mean, you got a lot of green going on out there. I was gonna say John Daly is awesome golfer. Uh-oh, COVID. Yeah,
Did you
John.
just sneeze?
I did. John Daly, he like drinks.
Disgusting.
Yeah, he like drinks. Isn't it weird now that we're living in the future, under this weird situation that we will have like you'd be in a convenience store or something and somebody will sneeze and everybody in there looks at him like
What about watching an
one of
old
them.
movie where you are like, wait, everyone's hugging and they're not masked? How many times have you watched stuff that you like can't it takes you a second to be like, oh, this was a movie? Or you'll see like somebody like going out to like a show and you're like, nobody's in masks. Oh wait, this movie came out 25 years ago.
Ooh, they shook hands. Gross.
It's so funny.
Disc golf is not a sport.
Is Brazilian jiu-jitsu is Brazilian jiu-jitsu a sport? Yes, it is. It's totally a sport. It's a competitive man-on-man action. Gi or no gi.
Yeah, it's called floor karate.
It's not always just men, I know.
Cornhole, paintball. There's no ball. Oh, paintballs. There's balls.
Poker is not a sport. It's a card game. I agree with that.
Yeah. James guy said, I want to know who John the Fisherman is. Oh, man, there's so many good comments in here. Baseball is a game, though. God, I love man-on-man action. All right, on to the next one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Horseshoes doesn't have a ball is a sport. Bocce ball. That's the game of my people, you know? Have you ever played bocce ball?
Bocce ball?
Yeah.
No. I speak bocce. All right, here's a serious one.
Oh, you're gonna bring it down.
I know. I'm taking this on a roller coaster. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna come back up. All right. Do you want me to read it, or do you want to read it?
I want you to read it in your best voice.
My best voice. My girlfriend of 8 years accused me of cheating. I didn't. It hurt my feelings. She realized her mistake. I forgave her, but now I don't want to be intimate or cuddle with her. What do I do? Asking for a friend.
Go to therapy?
Hey.
I mean, listen, this is the thing. Do you want to get back to that place with your partner? Then you need to figure out how to get back to that place with your partner. Or you need to ask yourself, I don't want to be back there. And then you need to part ways. There's like no one can solve this problem for this person but this person. And that's the first step is like, I don't want to cuddle or be intimate with my partner, but do I want to be able to be there with him at some point?
And I had to condense it just so it would fit on the screen because this was a long one, but it's like they didn't have a big knockdown drag out thing. It's like she accused him of this and then he was like, no. And then they talked it out and then she figured out that she was wrong. And then, but it's like, and then they tried to spend the day together and they spent the day together and everything was fine. But then when they get home later on, it's time to like cuddle or be on the couch or bedroom time or whatever. He's kind of pulling away and he's like,
because he's hurt. He's still feeling hurt.
Exactly. And I've experienced this myself to where it's like, okay, we get in a weird tiff and she's going to chew me out for a while and be kind of shitty for a little while because whatever reason. And then later it's like, okay, now it's over. And 15 minutes later, she's back to normal. And like, I carry those things with me for a while.
It doesn't always end for the other person like that.
Yeah. And some people are not like that. Some people are just mad and then they're not mad anymore. Some people. Yeah. And so I've had that to where it's like, okay, you go to bed and I'm like sleeping on the furthest edge of the bed because I'm still mad at that person a little bit, even though I've let it go and we're having conversations and talking, everything's normal. And I feel like you just got to, this person who asked that question, you need to figure out if you really did forgive her because you said you forgave her because you wanted to go on with your fun day at the beach or whatever it was you were doing. So you're like, okay, I'm not going to ruin our entire day because of this. We got through the thing. Let's hang out and be cordial. But did you really forgive her? You need to figure that out. And as Mia always says, a therapist is not a bad thing. You might, if you're running into situations like this, more often than this, you might consider checking out a therapist, because
Well,
just venting about these things. And I have another thing I'm going to say in a second, but what were you going to get into, Mia?
I was just going to say there's a bigger problem here too with their communication, because how she just accused you of cheating straight out, like, or was it, how did she approach this situation? Was she like, hey, I'm feeling really insecure about things with us because of X, Y, and Z. Can we sit and talk about it? And can you reassure me that nothing is, or was she just like, you slept with, I
Yeah.
feel like there's probably a bigger communication issue with this couple, than just him getting accused of something and him being like, no, it didn't happen. He proved that it didn't happen. But how did she approach it? Did she come on just like super heated and it wasn't
I,
a discussion? It was just like she was already prepared for
it
the answer that she had convinced herself. You know what I mean? So I think therapy for this couple would just help them out a little. 8 years is a long time to
Yeah.
be together. And if you want to salvage that, there's other communication issues happening within them to begin with. So yeah, go to therapy
It
together.
it
Do
caught
it.
this person completely off guard. Like I said,
Yeah,
they've been together for 8 years. And so she, and this is a thing, it made it seem kind of like he got confronted, like, hey, where were you this weekend when I was working? Like, what were you doing at this
exactly.
time to this time? And like,
That's the big issue.
I was just hanging out. Like, no, but well, you weren't over here, or you didn't do this or whatever. And I don't know what her evidence or what, I don't know the details, but it was a thing though, where he was like, no, I was mowing the yard. That's what, that's why I
Yeah.
didn't answer my phone. And then he was hurt by it. It was like, dude, why would you ever think that it had never even occurred to him. Like they don't have a relationship like that where it completely
Yeah.
caught him off guard. And now he's so like in awe that even came up. And the thing I was going to bring up is I've heard of cases where when somebody's making accusations like that, they're actually doing stuff themselves, and they
Well,
feel
yeah,
and they feel guilty about it, and it makes them make accusations. I have several friends that have been in situations like that, and it's like, like, hey, why do you smell like
well, yeah,
this? And he's like, because I stunk after work and I put some cologne on. You know what I mean? But like, oh yeah, and then after it's all said and done, it turns out that she was the one doing the bad stuff. And like,
exactly.
every couple is different, every relationship's different, and people or human beings can be fantastic and great, and they can also be terrible beings. So I mean, like, every story's different. But that was like a red flag for me. I'm like, after 8 years, you've never had any problems, and she's accusing you all of a sudden. Maybe there's something weird going on. I don't know, but I'm going to say therapy is the answer, because that's Mia's suggestion, and she knows what's up.
I say therapy is the answer because I'm just really curious how the woman approached the man about her feeling insecure about the situation, because it sounds like to me she did not approach it in quite like a very open to communicate. It's like she had already made up her mind about what she thought was going on, and then it puts him in a shitty situation. Like, how shitty is it to like have to convince your partner that you're not doing anything wrong? There should be, if it was approached in a different way, there would have just been like reassurance, and that's like fine. People get insecure in relationships sometimes. That's totally normal. But yeah, to just have to be like, oh, let me show you the evidence of everything. That's totally like, if your partner tells you this is what I was doing, you should be able to trust that. And if you can't trust that, well then, like, come on, you have bigger issues going on.
Yeah.
So
Agreed. Well, let's look at some of these chat questions or
we have a lot
comments.
We have
Yeah.
a lot going on in the chat. Somebody said they just found our show and that you need to sort your equipment out. Clint, that was a knock on you specifically.
What? They just what do we
That's
need
what
to
I'm
sort out?
saying. I don't even know, because that was said in the beginning of the show, too, by that James guy. So I'm not sure what's going on with our link, if we're missing something.
Yeah, that's weird.
I can't
Whoever
look
made
it up.
that comment, elaborate a little bit, because if you're saying we're having audio issues, like,
Hey guys, finally found the show. Love you, Clint, but you got to sort out your equipment. LOL. I'm not sure what you're talking. If you can tell us what you mean by that, because that's the second.
who's the person that said that?
Rajneesh.
Oh, Rajneesh. I don't know what you mean, bud. Rajneesh is a. That's weird. I wonder if I shared the wrong link or something.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Hmm.
maybe.
Maybe I did. I'll have to go look.
But we've had a normal amount of viewers, so I don't think too many people are not finding it.
Rajneesh, maybe you need to sort out your equipment. Burn. Yeah, that definitely gets an air horn.
Play it after the frickin' fact.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Girlfriend has to take initiative and cuddle him. We already said that one. Damn, this erotica got sad real quick.
That's really funny. That's a good comment.
Yeah.
Who said that? Where is that?
That's a Wade.
JPEG. That is really funny.
If she is already there, she will start suspecting everything, and trust is a cornerstone.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's hard to get out of that insecure place, for sure, once you're there.
You either break up or create a man cave
the size of a room corner and cry in it every night to sleep. Not the kind of advice we give on this show.
Let's see here. The guy should arrange a "What Would You Do" episode and accuse her of cheating on the show, and show her how it feels. Ha ha ha! That's he's talking about me. That was like, dude, I've been single for 10 years. Are you kidding me? Let's see here.
Rajni says there was a wrong link. I think, mate. LOL. Burn on me, I guess. Is the wrong link still up?
I don't know. I'm gonna go to Twitter. Why don't you read some of these? Read this comment.
First of all, can you tell me, Rajneesh, where were you getting the link from? Where do you stream us from? Because we are up on a bunch of different.
Rajneesh is my Twitter buddy, so.
Okay, so you're finding us on Twitter. So that's not. I don't think where the majority of our viewers come from anyway. It's YouTube or Facebook, I think, but.
My YouTube community is all on Twitter, and so anytime we put anything on YouTube, I post the links on Twitter. That's the deal.
I think most of the people watching for me are via Facebook.
Yeah. All right, so go on that cheater show. Y'all are hilarious. Let's see. Hey guys, finally found the okay, Rajneesh. We already addressed that. Rajneesh, I'm glad you decided to show up. I'm just kidding.
I really appreciate you being here for sure.
Let's see. If she had a whole dissertation ready, I think it's time to move on.
Phil says, having been in a very jealous relationship, I was even accused of sleeping with 2 lesbians. Maybe I'm that good. Ha ha. You know what? I will say that's a little. Did you just hear that?
Yeah. What was that?
That was my live-in animal roommate. She just freaked out over something. I don't know. She went crazy. I'm waiting for the day for her to pull down my green screen while I'm on stream. Phil, I will address what you just said, Phil, having been in a very jealous relationship. So in this specific situation, it doesn't sound like this is rooted in jealousy. This is not a jealous relationship, I feel like. I feel like this is one kind of more isolated incident because Clint said this guy said he was like super surprised. But being in a relationship where somebody's very jealous, I don't know if you know about attachment styles, but that would most likely be an anxious attachment. And if somebody is in an anxious attachment situation and their partner is not creating that problem for them, then that's on them. And that's going to just cause problems forever. That person is not happy with themselves to begin with. You need to be a secure person in your own life to have a secured attachment in a relationship. Not saying that there aren't anxious or avoidant moments, but yeah, that's my relationship advice for the day.
Wade JPEG says, this question pulled from relationship advice? Yes, it is.
Right.
I found this question on Reddit. Actually,
he's like, this is my question.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. I was like, how did you know? How did you?
Why are you scrolling through the relationship advice Reddit?
Yeah, that's weird. I do it because I have a show where we give advice, and if I don't get any people calling in or messaging me saying, "Hey, dude, ask this question," I have to go find some questions. So that's what I'm doing.
Speaking of which, I do like the relationship questions a lot, but I think that we should, and we could probably arrange this for not next week, but the week after, having Adam come on, and he is a relationship and dating coach. And
yeah, we should do that.
We should just do a relationship episode completely. And I think it would be really fun for me and you to answer the questions like in short form, and then him be like, "You're both wrong." But he's also British, so he'll say it in a really cool voice and tell us why we have no idea what we're talking about.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. Let's do that.
Yeah. He's really great. His name is Adam Lyons, and I've already asked him to be on the show, and he's agreed. So at some point in time, we should get Adam on here and have a relationship only episode. Speaking of, I'm going to read something. Do you think I should pull this into the show? Okay.
Pull it in, but real fast. Let me just say this real quick because this is echoing what you say a lot of times. Rajneesh says, personal opinion, most of us should be in therapy. Not a joke. It's just all people have emotional damage and can be better. And I agree with you, man. I've done therapy for years. I haven't been in a while, but there is something about getting around somebody who doesn't have an interest or interest is a vested interest or like in what your situation is, who can just objectively listen to you. And I hear it all the time as a bartender. People will come in and you can just tell they've got a ton of bricks on them, and next thing you know, they're unloading. And I've done it to where you go and you do your therapy session afterwards. You feel better, and you're also, I feel like you're trying to improve your life if you're taking the steps to do that. And I'll notice myself making an effort to be a better human being because it's like accountability. You're going to talk to this person next week, and so the thing that you said you were going to work on, you actually do it because there's a little bit of accountability. So I think it's good, and I recommend it. And some people aren't dealing with themselves; they're just wounded and they need to talk, and that's cool too. But I think it's a good thing.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So
I think even if you feel like you have your stuff sorted out in your life and you're doing really well and you're happy with your friends and your relationships and your careers and all this stuff, I still feel like therapy can be helpful because we're not all given the tools that we need to get through situations, and something might happen that could just completely derail you and you not even realize it's going to happen. I have a friend who he's never been through anything tragic ever. He's never even had a family member die, like a grandmother. He's I don't know what's going to happen when I have to go to my first funeral. And it's so heartbreaking because him and I our life experience is so different. I've been through so much, and he's just like a baby. There's an episode of Friends where Phoebe is talking about old souls, and then Joey is like, "Oh, what about me?" And she's like, "Oh, you're brand new." And it's because he's like, that's how I feel about my friend. I'm just I say that to him all the time. I'm like, "That's okay, honey, you're brand new." Yeah. Well, I like this comment too. Do people think the Myers-Briggs personality test is any more reliable than astrology? Actually, recently in the last year or so, the Carl Jung and his science behind Myers-Briggs has been completely debunked, and it's just it doesn't tell you anything. And most people that take the test twice, even back to back, get different results. So
tell me about this Myers-Briggs. I don't know anything about it.
So do you know people who I don't know if you're on dating sites and stuff, but you'll see it all the time where people have letters they'll be like, "My name's so and so, and these are my hobbies, and I'm an ENFJ."
No, I don't know.
That is referring to their personality type, and it's okay. I forgot what all the letters mean. It's sensing, feeling, judging, whatever. And so sensing's I don't think one of them, but
it sounds like modern astrology.
It's totally. But it is not accurate. It really isn't accurate. And it doesn't tell you anything about your life, and you could take it today and take it tomorrow and get different results. So people hold on to that, to tell them who they are, which I don't even understand why people like it so much. We just like to be told things about ourselves, I feel like. But yeah, it's totally like astrology, and I don't know, I've mentioned how I feel about astrology on here before, but it's fun fantasy for adults to play around in. Just like all your Marvel stuff, Clint, if you realize it's fantasy, you'll be okay.
It gives me the creeps. If I've talked about it before, if somebody's like, damn it, my phone, I can't get this app to work on my phone, or I can't get a text out. Mercury retrograde. I'm like, dude, do you really believe that you can't get your phone to print a document on your printer because it's Mercury retrograde? It's fun it's fun. It's like fortune cookies when you're like, okay, that's fun. Okay, hey, maybe I should go get a lottery ticket. My horoscope says that blah, blah, blah. That's one thing. But when you're like,
Somebody asked me what time I'm born, I run away.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I couldn't get this thing printed out. Mercury retrograde. That's one of the things that gives me a my brain tenses up and I get a nosebleed.
Oh,
It hurts.
now
What
we
was the
know how to
thing?
hurt sunscreen.
I got a question from somebody, and then also,
What was I gonna read? It's gonna bring this to like a serious place. So if you want to do comments first, that are better.
well, I had a question that was like, that I had a person that was in a abusive relationship.
Well, that's darker than what I was gonna say.
Yeah. And they split up, and the person wants, like, the person would like, who was on the abusive, on the, like, the abused side of the thing.
Hmm.
You know, they were together for a long time, and they don't feel like their friends should still be friends with that other person. And so they said, hey, and it's kind of a thing where it's like, hey, like, that person, like, you know, like, hit me and stuff, and it's like, is that person wrong for wanting their friends to not be friends with those other people anymore, or is that guy justified and be like, you know what, it's, you got to choose. If you're not going to push that person out of your life, like, I don't want to be in the same circle with people that are
Right.
friends with that person. Is this making
It
sense?
really sucks because the abused person, is probably gonna have to make a choice. You
Yeah.
know, this is not even close to relatable, but I kind of get the feeling. I had a friend who is one of my best friends. He ran into an ex of mine like very recently in a at a comedy show, and he texted me, and he's like, "Guess who's here?" And I was like, "Oh, cool, like good for him." And then I was like, "Did you guys talk?" And he was like, "Yeah." He came up and said hi, and then his next message to me was, "Real nice guy." And it just made me so mad to hear like my best male friend say that a guy that treated me pretty poorly was a real nice guy. And I got
Yeah.
really upset about it. But like at the end, I really thought about it a lot. And at the end of the day, who am I to say who my friend can and cannot like? He wasn't shitty to him. He was shitty to me, which, you know, because he was shitty to me, my friend should be like, well, you kind of suck. But, you know, whatever. This situation is obviously bigger deal than that. And
Yeah,
I
this
would
is like
expect my friends to not want to associate with somebody who was abusive to me if that were the case. But
physically.
yeah, and if they are going to, then I'm sorry, but those people have to go. They are toxic people in your life if they would choose to remain friends with someone who was that way.
Yeah.
When
Now,
I was a teenager, dated someone who was abusive to me, and this is a serious story. And I had warned a whole group of friends about him. I was like, listen, this is the situation that happened. And nobody believed me. It was so weird to me because I'm so honest and I can't lie. I'm just like the worst at lying. And nobody believed me about this guy. They chose him, somebody that they had known for 6 months, over me, someone they had known for like years. And it was so hurtful. And I was like, fine. I stopped associating with that group of friends. Guess what? He beat the crap out of the girl he started dating right after me, who was in that friends group. And they were all just like shocked by it. And I'm like, why are you shocked by it? Why
I
would you
told
be
you.
shocked by that? I
Yeah.
literally told you this is a scary, abusive person, and you didn't believe me. And why would I lie about that? What do I have to gain by lying about something like that? I don't understand some people's motivations. I don't get it.
So if this guy beats up this girl, and then this girl wants their mutual friends to not be friends with this guy anymore, is she out of line? Like, this guy
She's
be
not out of line
yeah.
at all.
And
But if they're not going to do it, then
yeah.
she has to cut them out of her life, I think.
Okay. Now what if this guy, what if it's the other way around, where it's a guy that was beaten up by the girl?
There should be no difference.
Yeah, I agree. But
Abuse is abuse.
do
There
you
should be no
think
difference.
people will dismiss something like that because they'll think like, oh, girl, guy, whatever.
Absolutely, people will, because
Mhm.
people aren't evolved and don't work on themselves and don't realize right from wrong, which brings me really close to this thing I'm going to read to you from my group chat today.
Which I'll just say, I think you're right about that people will dismiss that. But
it's unfortunate and it's really sad.
It is sad and it's unfortunate. But also people who weren't there, you know what I mean? People will be in denial about things, or people will be like, I didn't see it, or this person's saying that.
People.
Yeah.
Hashtag believe women started for a reason.
Yeah. So if you're on the abused side of the thing and people don't want to believe you, I would say, you know what? If they don't believe me, I need to cut those people out and just move on and don't worry about that anymore. Because if that's taking up real estate in your mind, you just need to move on and get away from that thing. And and if somebody doesn't believe you and they don't, it's time to move on. All right, what's your thing? Let's move on to that, and then we're gonna get into some fun stuff after that.
We have a lot of stuff, comments. I'll just we don't have to throw them all up on the screen.
Sure, let's. I'm way up. First I got.
Well, Phil says, I asked my friend.
Well, hold on. Let's move down here to this one. To Rajneesh says, I hope America gets socialized health care.
And therapy is free. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Therapy is part of free service provided. That would be incredible. Mental health is so important.
And then we got Marvel is greater than DC. Okay. And then Rajneesh says,
those ENFJ personality types are pseudoscience created by housewives in the 1920s for catalog magazines. The real science is in the 5 personality categories. Yeah, and even Carl Jung's stuff, the personality category stuff, you can go read. There's some articles out quite recently about how his science wasn't even really huge science. He wasn't really conducting real personality type science. That's it's a hard subject, personality psychology.
And Natalie says,
the abused is not wrong to want others to remove the abuser from their lives, but they 100% have to accept that it is the choice of the friends whether they do or not, and if they're not willing to, if they're
here
not,
we go.
well, I don't know.
Then
the abused has to decide whether that friend is worth their pain, difficulty, toxicity of the friendship, or whether their stability is worth cutting that friend out. I mean, it does tell you a lot about your friends. If they're willing to stay friends with an abusive person, do you really want those people in your life? And that is kind of part of, the whole toxic people in your lives thing.
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, well, why don't you read that thing you were getting into?
Yeah. Okay, so I have a group chat with my my fellow peers in my nursing program. So there are 63 of us. I have been in it's a messaging app. It's through Group Me. I have been in a new Group Me chat every semester for these courses. So this is the first time I've been in one with 63 students. Usually it's more like 30, but this is a weird pandemic semester, so we have a lot more. Anyway, almost always women in this chat. We have, because it's the majority of women going into these healthcare fields, but we do have men sometimes. And this is the first time that we've had men that were super active in the chat. We have a couple. And so this one guy is very active in the chat, and he decided to write this in our chat. Uh-oh. So it's through Group Me, and you can have, just like any other messaging app, you can have a picture of your face as your little icon if you want to, or you could just say, it just says your first letter of your first name, so if it was just me, it would just have an M. Anyway, so this is what he wrote, and I'm just curious to share. Well, I'm curious you guys' opinions, but also I want to share this
like this with Rajneesh with the R?
Yes, yeah. That's how it looks. Okay. So, totally off topic, but if nursing or whichever field you're going into doesn't work out, all of you could go into modeling. Geez, not trying to be a creeper, but I like putting names to faces. And well, it's intimidating as shit to be the old, ugly guy surrounded by models. LOL. Please take no offense, but a compliment. I am mad on so mini levels about this.
Has he slapped you on the ass yet? I'm waiting for that. It's like, that's
right. That's the freaking tone.
Hey, whoosh, hey, man, y'all are some lickers.
I'm going to point out everything wrong with this. First of all, we're all students together. Our looks should literally we're not friends. We don't know you personally. You should never comment. So that means that he is clicking on all of our pictures to look at them and make them look bigger.
Oh boy.
So he's commented on them. It's also like if nursing or whichever your field you're going into doesn't work out, because our poor little brains might not be able to handle it. And also this comment about like you can all go into modeling, and he says, the old ugly guy, okay, incel. And then also he says, like, as if we're all like tiny little baby. I'm 31 years old. I have a almost 10-year-old child. I'm not 18. Who does he think he's freaking talking to? I'm like livid. I've sent this to so many friends today, and my friends have been like sending me just like they're so disgusted. I'm so freaking disgusted.
It's like he's hanging out at Hooters and he slaps you in the ass. Is like, hey, go get me some blue cheese. You know?
That's exactly how it feels.
Oh boy.
I'm old and ugly, and all these girls are young and hot and pretty and in bikinis.
Phil says creepy.
Thank you, Phil.
R.W. McGrath says, this dude is smooth as sandpaper. So cringe. Absolutely cringe. And before you're even done reading, Natalie was like, already, this dude's a duck for what he said.
Oh, it makes me so mad.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, it sounds like he's an old guy. As an old guy, it sounds like this guy's like an old dude that just doesn't know.
Not that old. I've looked at his picture, and I'm 31. He could not be older than 35, 36.
Oh, really? I thought he was like a
That's the thing.
A 50-year-old man or something.
He's thinking that we're all like in our early 20s, like we're tiny little babies in this freaking, and he's like the old man in class. It's funny because I'm usually one of the oldest students. There's usually one like 40 or 50-year-old student older than me, and then it's me, and then everyone else is in their 20s. But it's just funny. And then the other comment I want to point out, because this one's probably not as obvious.
This is in nursing school, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, our prereqs. So this one's not as obvious, but the other thing that he says, well, about saying that you could all go into modeling pisses me off, because that's just saying that you have to just look a certain way to be a model, which makes me very mad. So that's the last little like bullet point of how this guy, everything he said was just so wrong. And no one said anything to him. Actually, one girl was just like, oh, haha, no worries. And I wanted to message her personally and be like, absolutely not. Do not let men get away with that. Are you kidding me? Ugh. And I was telling my male friend this earlier, and he was telling me about some movie where like men die off and there's only like one man left.
Oh, why The Last Man? It's a show. It's a graphic novel that got made into a TV show that's on FX right now. It's actually
Are women just like celebrating and walking at night and stuff?
No,
it's just like 6 hours of just women walking to get the mail at night.
It's actually complete chaos.
It's women park their car in a parking garage and go to the bar, and then when they leave, they just walk and get into their car, and that's the show. and it's just like 6 hours of different scenarios of women just getting to finally live. Ugh. Man,
no, it's
so mad.
No, the show's actually pretty good. Why the Last Man's good. It's crazy.
I might look into it. Do you think it'd make me happy? Do you think I'm gonna be like, yes, please, let's eliminate all men?
No,
or am I gonna be mad?
It's everyone's loved ones are all dead. Your dad, your son. I mean, just think of your dad, your son, all your ex-boyfriends, your brother, everyone drops dead, and all of a sudden,
pulled out every man in my life.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, now I can't. Well, now I can't just be a hot model-looking med student. Now I have to learn how to chop wood.
I know how to chop wood.
I'm just kidding. No, but the good news is the dude in the text message that sent that died. That in the show, he's dead. So there you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Natalie said you'd hate the show, Mia. Natalie, expand on that. Why would I hate the show? Please tell me why I'd hate it.
It's Diane Lane's in it. She's great.
Diane Lane's.
That's Superman's mom, okay? She's great. She's the president. She becomes president because the male president dies, and she's pretty badass. Do you want to move on to another question?
Yes, but Natalie says, man, imagine not having to hold your keys in punch position.
God. Exactly.
Imagine being like, oh, it's 3 a.m. and I feel like streaking. I don't, that's not a normal scenario, but you know what I mean? We all know what it's like to have to always be on. I just want to not have to be on for like one freaking day, you know?
Yeah, it's like when it's 3 a.m. and I'm wearing extra tight cargo shorts and I want to go to 7-Eleven, I don't have to feel worried. You know what I mean?
Listen, I had a dream the other night where took a lift to a gas station at like midnight and I got abducted by the Lyft driver. Have you ever had a dream where a dude abducts you?
No, that's weird.
No, because you probably wouldn't. Because you probably wouldn't get freaking abducted, Clint. That's what it's like being a woman. It pops into my head in dreams sometimes.
Wow.
And I was on my period, okay?
No, nobody wants to get abducted on their. That's terrible. That's a.
Did you just say nobody wants to get abducted
on their period? That's a quote of the night.
Nobody wants to do anything.
Nobody wants to get abducted on their period. That's that's a weird dream. I've had some really weird dreams. One, I don't even want to talk about it on the air, but I'll tell you later
Natalie says I wouldn't like the show because it isn't how we'd see the world in that situation. Damn it all. Well, maybe we should make our own show.
It's kind of.
It was probably written by a man.
Yeah, I'm sure, but it's been around for a long time. It's actually pretty interesting. There's some interesting situations where there's there's some trans people that are like, they're like they look male but they're not, and there's weird situations, and then there's some people that are like, oh shit, and they ran off with all the testosterone and they're like, what am I going to do? It's a crazy show. It's like Walking Dead meets some new concept, kind of, if you ever watched Walking Dead.
I might try to watch it, but if it starts making me mad, I'm not going to do it.
It's not going to make you mad. It's just kind of like, wow, this is what would happen.
Do you know if it's going to make me mad, though? Because you're not a woman. You don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to make you mad.
Can we pull this show into a happier place?
Yeah, we can. Let's.
Phil said he said I would abduct Clint only if he played all Ritalin Kid songs in order start to finish.
Dum dum dum.
What's the first song on the album? What would be the first song?
See the Light if it's the first record. Never Live It Down if it's the second record. We're gonna go through this one real quick.
Yeah, we're at a while. We're at an hour and a half already.
Yeah. I feel like I've become a chronic venter. I post all the details of my continuous misfortunes online for everyone to see. I can't afford therapy, and I feel like everyone is sick of me complaining about my life. How do I stop being a victim? Asking for a friend. This is
tough.
Yeah.
Did not bring us up an octave, Clint.
I know. That's why I say we're gonna go. We're gonna go through this one quick, and I'm gonna say that you need to look into programs. There are programs out there for therapy and whatnot where you can where you might have to do a little digging to find the right program that you fit into. But for instance, there is a Sims Foundation in Austin, Texas, which deals with which is mental health, and it's for musicians. And you call them, and they might even do anyone now, but it was designed for musicians in the beginning. And if they don't handle non-musicians, I bet you they could tell you somewhere else to go. But you call them, you talk to a counselor. They look at your situation, and then they find a therapist for you, and they'll ask you your income and whatnot, and they'll find sometimes they pay for it all. Sometimes they say, okay, you fall in this bracket income wise, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to cover half of it or most of it or whatever it is. Hey, can you afford $10 a week? Yeah, okay, cool, we got you. Go see this person. And they're really good at doing that, and there's a lot of programs like that. So if you really feel like you need to talk to somebody, go talk to somebody. You just got to do a little digging, and there are things that you can do for yourself. I'll also say, if you notice yourself complaining and venting and like you're the victim, there is something chemically that you get out of being the victim, where you suddenly you start looking for reasons to complain and start looking for things. And we've talked about this, but not every
situations.
Yeah. And so I'm going to hand it off to Mia. I'm going to hand it off to Mia right now to talk more about this, because I know she's read a lot of books on this topic. But you can get addicted to being the victim, and you need to dig your way out of that. So I'm going to pass it along to Mia. What do you think? Because I have friends that I've seen the stuff, and you're like, God, this person's talking about this again. Like, really? I would be embarrassed to post that on Facebook. What are they doing? Like, I've seen that with friends. Go ahead.
No, I totally agree with everything you're saying, and it's tough. And really what it comes down to is this person's right by recognizing, like, you can't use up your friends and family. You can't use them up for all your stuff constantly. And if you have a lot of horrible things that are going on, I know it's totally easy to feel like a burden. I feel like that a lot just with things I'm going through personally right now. And I almost makes me just not want to talk about them, because when every time someone checks in, I'm just like, oh, I'm awful. And it sucks. But Natalie has in the comment, social media detox, meditation, sliding scale therapist, psychology today, journaling, working out. There's ways to find, I don't know. I don't want to say a silver lining in everything, because that would be just like crap, toxic positivity to say. But yeah, it's true. I don't know. There's some solace in like hearing that sometimes there's not a lesson in everything, right? Sometimes you just fail. But addressing what you were saying about getting addicted to stuff, yeah, absolutely. Chemically addicted to situations that are going to put you in a situation of like a state of anxiety, and then you're gonna have your dopamine's gonna kick in and calm you down, and you're gonna get addicted to that buildup of like, I gotta get it out. But like venting, that's not always the best method to get better, you know?
Some people get addicted to the attention they get from it too. But go ahead, keep going.
No. Yeah, absolutely. I just think that like this person needs to find outlets that aren't necessarily talking it out, because it sounds like to me that method that they're using isn't working. Like, is that working for them? They're saying people are getting tired of them doing this. They feel like they're being a victim. They're using Facebook to bitch about stuff. I don't use social media to talk about negative stuff going on in my life, for sure. So is it helping? Is it helping? Because it sounds like it's not. And if it's not helping, you have to find another way. There are totally other ways. And let's say you're like, I literally cannot afford therapy. Go get a library card and start getting some self-help books. Start reading things. There are amazing freaking books out there that'll help you like change your freaking life for the better. Not that I'm definitely not the person to come to for like positivity advice, because I'm not that way. I'm I'm the one who's going to be like, yeah, everything sucks and everyone should die. But if you want to fix your life, you can take initiative and take it into your own hands and do that, and not use up all of your friends and family and loved ones for your shit all the time. And is it an equal relationship? Is it give and take? Do you listen to their stuff too, or are you just like, I need to get this off my chest to you again? Is it helpful? I don't think it is. And this person also needs. Never mind. I was gonna make a joke. That's mean. Never. I'm not gonna
make a joke. It's okay.
No, it was a vibrator joke. I'm sorry, Mom.
Oh.
Um.
Maybe it was a guy who made the who
Oh, because
posed the
men can't
question.
use vibrators, Clint.
No, I was gonna talk about a vibrating butt plug, but sorry, Mom. All right, let's move forward.
Sorry, Clint's mom.
All right, I hope my
I
mom didn't
brought it
watch this one.
there.
Yeah. Okay, we got two more.
All right. Let's get to it. Let's get to it because it's
What?
Fortnite time.
Yeah. When people say, "Does money matter?" Do you think that's bullshit? And why? Asking for a friend.
Oh, like money doesn't matter?
Yeah, some people try to pull that thing like, "Oh, money doesn't matter," and blah blah blah. Do you think that's true, or do you think
Money can't
no?
buy happiness, right?
Yeah, that whole thing.
Um, I mean, depends. Money would make me happier. I would enjoy a lot more money. That's actually the reason why I'm going through school, is because I'm hoping at some point in time that I will be making a whole lot more money than I'm making now.
So,
But do I complain about my lot in life? God, no. I am so lucky and grateful for everything I have. I would never, ever, no. But for some people, like, yeah, depends on the type of person you are, I think. Money can't buy happiness. Well, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to poke holes in that stupid saying anyway. Happiness is not a prolonged state. I feel like it's a fleeting emotion like everything else. And the state that you're trying to achieve is more of like a contentment, more of this balance, homeostasis in your life is kind of what you're looking for. I don't think you're looking for prolonged happiness. People are you happy?
yeah, some people end up working their
Why
ass
is
off
that
making all
your
this money and they're still not happy because they spent all this time doing it. Other people, it's different. It's different
I
for
think
everyone. And I feel like money doesn't necessarily buy you happiness, but it can alleviate stress, and stress causes unhappiness. So it's a
practicing gratitude is the balance, I feel like, to that.
I think somebody that says that is trying to be a fucking philosopher or something. Oh, money doesn't buy happiness. You can't put a price on blah. I'm like, yeah, tell that to some guy that is like can't afford to eat. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's different. I think that is a person who is in a I don't like using the word privileged. You're in a good place in life if you can say that. You know what I mean?
Well, I
Um,
think privilege has taken on a different meaning
yeah,
as of late, that it's old
I
connotation kind of makes you feel. I totally get it. That's what
yeah.
I say when I say practice gratitude. My privilege is immense compared to so much of the world. However, I don't feel like I'm an overly privileged person, but like, yeah, we have to be grateful for what we have, and not dwell on what we don't have,
Well,
for sure.
that segues me into this question. I went back to a homeless man that I passed earlier in the day to give him $10. My friend asked because when he passed him the first time, he didn't have any money, but he went and ate lunch with his friend, and then they passed back by this guy, and he made sure he had cash on him. My friend asked why I did that, and I said karma, and then she called me a scumbag. Am I a scumbag?
I mean, I don't know you personally, so I can't tell you if you're a scumbag or not. Are you a scumbag for giving a homeless man money? No. Is your motivation behind giving him money karma so that you'll get some good back? Yeah, that's not a great motivator for helping somebody out. But yeah, there's not really selfless acts. We don't do nice things for other people just because we try to say that we do. But even if the what we get out of it is a good feeling for ourselves, that's still not selfless. So I don't know about the whole karma thing. I don't really believe in karma, but you can
I
throw that to the wolves with astrology and
Yeah.
Carl Jung's personality types. But just doing so. I mean, if I had done that, somebody asked me why I did that, I would be like, well, I don't know, because that person seemed like they could use $10. There's this is an interesting. I will tell this story very quickly. I have a friend who travels for work a lot, and he was in India. It was one of his first times in India, and he was with somebody whose office was there. Who was working with him, and they were walking down the street, and there was a scam on the side of the road. It was a boy with broken eggs, like in a cart, and he was crying. And he just stands there on the side of the road, crying over this cart of eggs, hoping people will give him money, right? And so my friend, the guy my friend was working with, gave this little boy $100, and my friend was like,
which is a shitload of money in
it's a
India.
shitload of money, yeah. And so my friend was like, "Why did you just give that man that boy $100? You know that's a scam, right?" And then my friend, the guy responded and he said, "Yeah, but even if it is a scam, you know he doesn't have a good life. Like if he's sitting on the side of the road with a carton of broken eggs to try to scam people out of money, he's not going back to luxury. He's still going back to shit." And so like I don't care if it's a scam. I'll pay into that scam. And that's how I feel. Like just like when I was talking about the lady leaving my bread out of uh the shipped order, when it's like that's literally the item I needed for my son's lunch for the next day, and I could have gotten really mad, but I just kept thinking somebody who's working for Shipped in the middle of the pandemic isn't doing great. They're not going home to like Maseratis. And so if I give her less stars, I'm literally screwing up like a job for her. And why would I want to do that? She made an honest mistake, you know? So, God, I totally derailed this. I'm sorry.
No, you absolutely touched on a great point. It's like if that kid is having to fake cry over broken eggs, he needs that $100 more than that other guy. You know what I mean?
Even if it is a scam,
even if it's a scam.
Yeah, somebody's making him be there doing that, and that's really. And if he doesn't bring any money back that day, he's like in big trouble, you know.
Now the crux of the question is though, is this guy a scumbag? No, I think he just that was just like he was just saying something like, "Hey, what goes around comes around." Karma. It's like whatever, man. And like the other person blew it out of proportion. It's like, look, they basically took what you said and said, "You didn't do this as a selfless act. You did this because you expect a return from the universe. You're a scumbag." I think that person.
That's overkill. That's overkill.
I think the person is taking you quite literally and should maybe pull out $5 and give it to that guy too. And but like I was gonna say earlier, it's like most people that do charity, you could say you're being selfless, but most people are doing a lot of that for themselves. At least it's going to make them feel better or less guilty that they're in a better position than other people. And it's like you spend your Thanksgiving at a shelter carving turkeys for homeless people instead of hanging out at home. You're doing that because you're in a fortunate position and you want and it makes you feel better about where you are in life and less guilty. Go ahead, Mia. And
no, we talk about it's, we throw away like win-win around. Like that's just something that gets thrown around. People are like win-win. Well, that's actually like a theory that's been studied and, put to practice where there are situations that are win-win, lose-lose, and lose-lose. And we don't, people just say that because it's like, oh, it's win-win. And it is, in a way, doing work. Like I volunteer around Thanksgiving for Operation Turkey. And basically I just walk in and I just plate meals for like 3 or 4 hours. You just keep going through the line, plating these meals all day. And I don't even get to interact with the people that the meals are going to. But it feels really freaking good to know that you're feeding a bunch of people amazing food, especially when you get to go eat amazing food with friends and family later. Like you're like, oh, well, I know that a bunch of other people that may have not had this opportunity got to. And do I feel guilty that it makes me feel good? Absolutely not. I feels amazing that I can feel good making someone else feel good. And I don't feel bad about that at all.
I have a friend who is like family who's been through a lot, but is also in a very financially a good position in life, and it took a lot to get there. But she's anyway. But she does that every year. She does the Operation Turkey thing and spends her Thanksgivings doing that.
You know where she goes?
I don't know. I don't want to talk about it on the air, but I'll talk to you about it after we sign off.
But I think it's amazing. I'm so glad I found them. They're so wonderful.
But I think it's really cool. Like I think that's a really cool thing to do.
I love it. The only thing I don't like is getting up at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
But
But
That's what naps are for.
She just drives around town giving turkey plates to people.
She does the delivery, yeah. So there's different stages of what you can do, and I always do the plating thing because I usually have somewhere to be by like noon. So
yeah, but she goes and interacts with people. I think it's awesome. So so I'm sure everyone wherever you're at, there's holiday programs to do things like that. So if you can, some of our people are not even in the United States. They're like, we don't do Thanksgiving. We're over here. Like, oh, but you know, it's a big thing here. You know, most families are sitting around eating turkey and gorging themselves on all kinds of crazy food, and then you got homeless people out there that don't have families, and I think it's cool that people are out there like you, Mia, getting plates of food to those people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say that a lot of our questions we get are about kind of people that need mental health help in a lot of ways. That, you know, a lot of our advice is like go to therapy and stuff like that. Contributing and giving back, volunteering sometimes really freaking helps bring you back to a better place. If you can. I know we're in the middle of a pandemic and it's iffy what you can and can't do right now, or what you're even comfortable with doing right now. But it really helps. There are times when I've been at my like worst of worst, darkest of dark depressions, and looking into volunteer opportunities kind of helped me pull out of it, because it feels good to know that you're useful. And sometimes like a big part of mental health is like, I'm useless. I feel hopeless and I'm useless. And well, you can make yourself useful.
And I feel like sometimes depression and things like that like could make you fixate in your bubble. You know what I mean? In your own bubble. If you widen your bubble, all of a sudden you don't have to be alone in here. You're out there and there's other problems, there's other things, there's other people, and I think that's cool.
I feel like I'm like young, able-bodied, I can contribute as long as I can in certain areas.
Phil says, "What you give is what you get. People is peoples. People misread that. People's is from the Muppets Take Manhattan. People misread that phrase." Rajneesh says, "Never understood the don't give money to the homeless. They'll spend it on drugs argument, as opposed to what you spending money on booze or drugs yourself. It's not like you spend money on like on Bibles, dude. I'll buy a 6-pack for a homeless guy if he's straight up. He's like, dude, I'm just trying to get some beer. I'm like, here's some beer, bro."
It's like that argument of what can and cannot be bought with your food stamps, or here it's the SNAP program. Like when they found out people were buying like lobster, maybe you only get like $200 a month in food stamps, and you went and spent it all on like lobster. So you're telling me that somebody who's like really broke can't experience a wonderful lobster dinner just maybe once in their freaking life? Like, God, just let people do whatever they want. They're not buying like, you know, you can't buy like soda and a bunch of junk food on it. They're feeding themselves. And no, are they buying rice and beans that will feed them for like a whole month? No, they're not. But like, I support them getting their damn lobster dinner for just the one time. Jesus, come on now.
Well, let's get to the last.
I've been on a lot of high horses today.
I know. This has been good. We're doing. This is actually turned into the special 2-hour episode. This is the 29th episode of Answering for a Friend, and we're doing a special 2-hour episode tonight. And
W. McGrath said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh yeah. Let's post his.
He said, better to give to a charity that will handle and directly help them to random people on the street. I do agree with that if you're giving in large amounts, but I fully support just brightening someone's day. Just one person's day is an okay thing to do as well. Sometimes.
I've got a story for that. My best friend Chris Klink, one time, some dude was like, "Hey man, you got any change or whatever?" And he was like, "Here, dude." And he only had a $5. He's like, "Here, just take it." And he gave him a $5 bill. And then, and this is like, God, this is long time ago. Long time ago. We were probably like 21, 22 years old. And
you're
so
only 23 now, so.
Yeah, I'm only 25 now, but so Chris and I went to a show at Emo's downtown, and Chris all of a sudden he's like, "Dude, I'm not feeling so well, man. I'm gonna go home." And I'm like, Okay. And we taken separate cars. I'm like, all right. And we were roommates, but I was like, all right, dude, I'll see you at the house, man. I'm gonna stay and watch this band. Cool. So he left. So later when I saw him, he told me his story. He's like, yeah, he's walking down Red River and turns on 7th, starts turning, so he starts to walk towards the police station. He's parked on 7th Street. Back in the old days, I mean, now it's dead and people all go to the east side and stuff, but back in the old days, like in the late 90s, that was like crackhead central down there. But like,
oh, I know.
Yeah, and so he's
Paulson
like,
Chacon is Scaryland.
Yeah. So he's walking to his car, and all of a sudden, this guy from across the street just starts running across 7th Street with a pipe in his hand or stick or something. Starts running at him, and he was like, I was in disbelief. He looked like he wanted to kill somebody, and I couldn't figure out. And then he was like looking around. He's like, and then he's like, oh shit, this guy's running at me, and and out of nowhere, this guy jumps in front of him and is like, whoa, 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 he's cool, man, he's cool. And it was some random dude that on the sidewalk, he just happened to be passing by, and he gave him $5, just like that guy. Randomly, like a guardian angel showed up. It was like, he's cool. And then he told him, get in your car, get out of here. And he held the guy off. And then the guy took off. And like, he probably would have split his head up, might have killed him. Like, it would have split his head open.
That's like the Dane Cook joke, and Dane Cook's not that funny, but like he has the joke where the weird awkward guy from The Office comes in to shoot up the office, but you're the guy that gave him candy every day, so he doesn't shoot you, but he whispers like, thanks for the candy. Like, just be like doing like nice kind acts for one person. Like, you never know, what somebody's going through. I also will just quickly comment on Rajneesh's comment about Thanksgiving is such a uniquely American thing. Closest thing we have, celebrating Guy Fawkes Night, literally celebrating terrorist plot that was foiled. Yeah, so I also don't celebrate Thanksgiving for what we think it is here in America. Like, I celebrate eating food with family and friends, but like, it was totally like white people stealing land from Native Americans, and I don't support the basis behind why we have Thanksgiving, just in case anyone was wondering. It's just a time. It's a feast day for me. That's about it.
For me, I'm thankful that I'm where I'm at. I could be in a lot worse spot, and I do sit back and reflect and say, you know what? Here I am, and I'm part white. I'm part Hispanic. I'm part Native American. I've got a lot of parts. We've moved on in the future to where I'm like, I don't think we need to talk about Christopher Columbus anymore. I think we should all just sit around, because I'm part of all the parties. I think we should just maybe take this day, since it's got the name Thanksgiving. Like, hey man, let's be thankful for what we've got. And I'm doing pretty good. I'm on a YouTube show with Mia Harms. I'm sorry, just Mia, and
you just like ruined the whole.
I just ruined the whole show. Damn it!
In one sentence
with Mia, and we've got amazing people in the chat, and I think we're doing pretty good.
It's been a really fun show, an extra long fun show.
Extra long. So
is there another question, or are we wrapping it up?
We're gonna close it out with the most important question of the night, guys, and I want everyone in the chat to chime in.
All 7 of you.
Yes. And also, if you have any questions that pop in your mind, I don't care if they're real or made up, you send them to us and we will address them on the show, because that's what we do. We talk about stuff. So here we go. The most important question of the night. If you could have bionic arms or bionic legs, which would you pick and why? Asking for a friend.
I'm really sorry about this. As I've displayed, I feel like throughout this show, I'm not an airhead, but I don't know what you mean by bionic.
Bionic are like,
what can they do?
They're like robot arms, or like if we were living in a comic book world, you might be able to run super fast or jump super high. Or
if I had bionic arms, could I lay in bed and then like my arm extend all the way to the kitchen to get me something?
That sounds like Go-Go Gadget arms. I'll say yes.
Then yes, I'll do the arms. We'll take arms for 500, please.
Or would you rather be able to run 50 miles an hour? Or would
thank you.
Or
running is not something I do.
Yeah, or when somebody comes at you in the parking garage, instead of having to grab your keys, you could just rip his arms out of the sockets, like because you got super strong robot arms.
I'm going with the arms,
Yeah.
please. There's a lot of things I do with my hands that I'd like to be able to do without tiring out.
Oh, laughing because I had a just.
My mom's been in bed for a while.
Oh, by the way, James says, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. Absolutely.
You didn't spam us with that all show, James. Thanks.
Roberta Bobby Anderson says I'd like to. Yeah, I'd like to have one of each. Anytime I say Roberta Bobby Anderson's name, I do the air horn. That's just part of the thing.
What happens if I say communication?
That happens. I mean, anytime you say it.
So, oh wait, I can't tell that joke. Never mind. I'll tell you that joke when we're off the air because I don't think I can tell it on the air.
Okay. Legs because I want to. This is the best comment I've seen all day. Legs because I want to keep my organic hands. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm taking arms. I'm gonna take the arms.
Dude, Roberta Bobby Anderson and James.
Also, I have a messed up shoulder, so I would like to repair that forever.
Yeah, well, you can do a robot arm would help with that. Both said I would like to have one of each.
Do you like my shoulder dance?
Yeah, the shoulder dance is good.
I'm sorry, but one of each was not part of the question. And this is, since this is actually happening, once you've selected your final answer, you cannot substitute. It's 2 arms or 2 legs or bust.
Yeah, guys, this isn't a thing where you're like, okay, I want a cheeseburger with...
I like how you're agreeing with me.
Yeah. You don't say no lettuce and then get extra meat. You don't get to do that. That's not on the menu, okay? All right. Let's see here. Roberta Bobby Anderson
So many air horns.
Arms because when I could open my own... Oh, yeah, you could open your own jars. That's good. But I really want to have one arm, one leg.
Your jars for you. Let me come open your jars. Let me open your jars. I want to open your jars. Let me do it. I want to do it.
All punching power compound movements start in the lower body. The bionic arms would be great just to crush things in my hand. Yeah. Rajneesh picks the legs. Lords of the Long Box says, what's good, Clint? Everything is good. We're asking the question, if you could have bionic arms or bionic legs, which would you have?
Natalie say... says...
I'm going to go with... Damn, that's... I want to say arms, but now you hit me with the organic hands. That's bothering me. Yeah, right here. We're going up. Bionic arms would be a problem. You might end up ripping your... Whoa, hey-oh!
I can't... I don't know what you mean by that. I can't
ripping your... off. Yep, you might do that.
Natalie said, Mia said bionic arms, bionic legs, or bust, and then but before that she goes, bionic bust.
Bionic bust. Yeah, that one.
I want some bionic boobs. I'm into it. I can't wait till like robots so I can have a robot boyfriend. That's what I'm really waiting for.
I was just talking
that looks
about
like Jude Law from the movie that he was a robotic boyfriend in.
I was just talking about this the other day. We were talking about on Versus, my show on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. Yeah, we were talking about Blade Runner, and in Blade Runner they have synthetic, like they're basically genetically engineered, not real people, but they seem real. And we were talking about where the line is between like they're not real, they're created, and they're supposed to be kind of servants and stuff, but but they display the desire to live, and they're just trying to live, and all of a sudden it gets into a weird discussion. It's like, if they're genetic and they want to live, are they so bad? And anyway, we got into this long thing, but it made me start talking about, okay, what happens when AI gets so complex, and then they can mix AI and genetic mass to where next thing you know, you can have a robotic girlfriend. And
I'm into it.
I'm like, is that weird? Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Says AI is the movie. That's the movie with Jude Law and Is
Ah,
Haley Joel Osment, whatever his name is he in it? The guy from the I See Dead People movie. Calling myself out here. I've never seen The Sixth Sense, but that's a side note. We did that on a show. We talked about the movies I've never seen. Yeah. Jude Law was a robot boyfriend in AI, and I was into it.
I just need somebody to wash the dishes and take the trash out, you know?
Yeah, I just need someone to like always. Never mind.
All right. Well, that's it, guys. So, again, we're going to go to our public service announcement that we do every week. If you need help, and if you're in a real bad place, suicide prevention hotline, hit this number up, call them. If you're like, hey, I'm in a bad place, but I'm not this bad, call them. I'm sure they could suggest somebody that can give you some help. If you just need to talk to somebody, like, don't hesitate. Talk. There's people that have dedicated their lives to helping people like you. Take advantage of that. And yeah, so there you go. And then also, just so that James doesn't say, hey, dude, doesn't yell at me, we're going to say, guys, like, share, subscribe, click that notification bell. And we're here every Tuesday, except for the Tuesday, every Thursday. Wait, what day is this?
Yeah, Clint, when is our show?
Dude, I have live streams almost every day. I don't even know who I am anymore.
Or who I am.
Yeah, we're here every Thursday, except for the Thursdays that we're not. And when we're not, we will be back the next Thursday. So, guys,
small screen, hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you, small screen.
Yes.
Thank you, that James guy, Phil, everyone that's in here, Natalie, Rajneesh, R.W. McGrath. Who else do we have in here?
All you guys.
This has been a really fun show, and I appreciate it. And I think we should continue this in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll be back. And again, if you have any friends that you're like, man, my friend is going through this, and you have an opinion about it, but you need to bounce that off, hit us up with the question. I've actually have friends out in the world that have like recently been hitting me up and be like, hey, I've got this guy that I know that this is going on. His girlfriend keeps doing this, blah, blah, blah. I'm starting to incorporate those questions in the show instead of just emails. And again, when I don't have anything, I go look stuff up on Reddit. But I'd prefer to have a connection with the people that are sending me stuff. So please, you guys. Yeah.
We did that on one of our earlier shows, and we had somebody record a thank you video for us, and it was like, it gave us all the feels, and it felt really good to like help a real person out. So I agree. You can always send me questions too. Find me in whatever capacity you can find me, for sure. And I say, come play Fortnite with me, but if I kick you from my party, you gotta leave. You can't keep joining. That's not okay. Yep. There's Fortnite etiquette. And yeah. And Kevin Feige commented, great show. Also, am I going to be Captain Marvel soon, Kevin Feige? The real Kevin Feige?
Yeah.
All right.
You're going to be Captain Marvel. So, and again, you can hit me up at Instagram or Twitter at the OG Clint Baker. If you want to find me on there and message me on either platform, and I will grab your question and put it on the show. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you guys, and we're going to see you guys next week on Answering for a Friend. Bye.